small talk and useless chatter. If I don't have something to say, I won't say anything. So,
well, it sounds like we came from the same family. Wow.
And Facebook allows us to sort of, put funny things up and make funny slogans and engage in sort of the more trivial
kind of trite
conversations or whatever, things that happen throughout the day that we used to every day with our buddies, So we can kind of keep contact with people. We can see what they're doing without really going out of our way to have some awkward, silence-filled conversation. And
I'm still in touch with all my battle buddies. So.
And if you need to talk to someone, if you're having a rough time, if you just need an ear, you can pick. You could send them a text or get up and see who's out there or whatever, and you have that outlet. But because of Facebook, because you can always have that sort of loose connection, you always see something from them every day in the news feed. You still have that sort of that closeness, if that makes sense.
Right.
There's an illusion of closeness there, if that makes sense. I think that probably helps people. I think it helps me, and of course I'm someone who finding an outlet. I worked in a gun range for a year. I love guns. Being around things that I like and know, and not trying to conform. Because trying to go to, I'm going to take the CHL instructors course here soon and start teaching CHL classes. Being in that environment, finding something that I can sort of do that allows me to give people the tools they need to save their lives in a violent encounter. The need I have to feel like a warrior. To me, a warrior is a violent man. Or a man of violence, but one with a code. And a violent man should hate nobody more than a violent man without a code.
Controlled chaos.
A violent man without a code is a dog that needs to be put down.
Well put.
And anyway,
Amen.
I ramble sometimes. So
it was a good ramble because it makes you're comfortable in what you're going to do. If you can find comfort or see comfort in what you're doing, it humbles the soul. It kind of tames the beast while you're still controlled.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and it's it gives you focus and purpose. Oh, I'm just saying it gives you focus and purpose.
Absolutely, it's the purpose. That's what, and I think that's what a lot of people. I think that's one of the biggest problems people have is not having a purpose. I knew that was my biggest. Everybody says they drank too much or whatever. When I tell you I drank too much, I was drinking 2 handles of cheap vodka a day for years.
Yeah.
There have been countries that died trying to keep up with me. I've killed small nation states under the table.
You sound like me in Korea.
The lowest point I ever got as an alcoholic was, I always tell people it was either the day when I was driving a cab, when I was sitting in my cab in an alley off of Greenville Avenue in Dallas, scarfing down cheeseburger dogs from 7-Eleven, which if you've ever had a cheeseburger dog, they're the most horrid, fat, greasy, disgusting, fat body food in the world. But my fat little heart loves them. They are so
just cheeseburger dogs?
Yeah, it's a bacon cheeseburger, greased dog. It's shaped
like a little.
Yeah, you get them off the roller rack at your local convenience store.
Yes, exactly.
Heart attack in a bun.
Oh my
Sounds
God!
like
I was
a slice of steak from a bun.
I was sitting there stuffing my fat face with these things, multiple of them, and drinking Jack and Coke, and cried my eyes out because I couldn't stop.
I bet that was an interesting cab ride. I bet that was an interesting ride.
In the cab that I was driving.
Lord have mercy.
And I either say that's the lowest point of my life, or and that'll be the story. If I ever go on Oprah, that'll be the story that gets me on Oprah. But as far as addiction, the worst was one time. Texas, you can't buy alcohol on a Sunday. You can't buy booze on a Sunday. It's this horrible, backwards Puritan law, and I freaking hate it. But
anyway, that law here too.
There was a moment in time when I tried to dilute rubbing alcohol into 7-Up, so I could drink it. And it was a little rough. It was a little rough. I'm not gonna lie.
A little? You're off drinking gasoline.
I probably would have been better off huffing gasoline.
At least you could have picked your octane. You could have went from 85 to 93. I mean, isopropyl. Ooh wee. Just the thought of that going down my throat.
It was yeah. I was like, wow. I don't even know how I got off with that. There was anyway.
Thank God you weren't smoking because you'd float up.
Oh God, he was.
One of the reasons that I was so. I think now I look back on it. One of the reasons that I was so messed up was because I had tried to fit in the box that I was supposed to fit into. My parents were teachers. I was supposed to go to college. I got 2 years in before I went in. I got my associate's degree at the JUCO before I went in the Army, and it shouldn't have been a big deal for me to finish up or whatever. But I tried to fit in that box, and the more I tried, the more debt I got in, the more I hated it, and the more I hated myself for trying to do it. I just couldn't do it. I didn't have whatever it is in me that normal people have to make them normal. It's not a sprocket or part that is inside me. And it wasn't. The first book came out, and I started slowly. I told myself, I'll do this. If I'm a writer, I'll be a writer, I guess. It sounds like a good way to drink. And being a writer sounds like a good job to have when you like to drink, eat, and hit on women, which I love all those things. So
all the above.
At some point in time, I started working at a gun range. I was given an opportunity to work at a gun range, and I have issues with some people. I have issues with some people on the business side of gun stores, because I'm sure I don't need to tell any of you guys about the reputation gun stores have among actual gun people, but there's a lot of horrible people working in gun stores. And anyway, but I had a direction. I loved teaching shooting. I love giving people the tools they need, the tools and information they need to make a decision for themselves that's going to affect their ability to defend their lives. Realizing that I'm somebody that I'm an avowed loner. I'm somebody that I always talk about how much I hate people. I'm a committed curmudgeon. But I love interacting with people, and I love giving people, especially women. I have a lot of, I don't mean that as a pseudo womanizer or whatever, but women are easier to deal with than men. Men are full of ego and bluster and douchebaggery, and I hate most of them.
Same thing I say. Women are the best students.
Women make much better students. And,
Amen.
And anytime I can help them on their path to realizing self-discovery, and I found that the best way to introduce people to the philosophy of individualism in my never-ending quest to rid the world of socialism and anything collective, because I despise collectivism. The best weapon we have, and I don't know why we don't utilize it more, is through the tool of self-defense, through bringing new shooters into it, bringing new people into shooting and self-defense, putting out good information. Because there's something about being able to defend yourself, being able to defend your life, being responsible for your own safety. There is something in that, in the act of that, in the practice of it, and then the sort of the adoption, the slow adoption of a personal self-defense philosophy. There's something in it that strikes a chord in people. It resonates people. It nurtures rugged individualism, and it sort of deconstructs the more socialistic, collectivist aspects that people have sort of let be indoctrinated into themselves in today's world. If any of that makes sense, I just ramble incoherently about any number of things, but
it makes perfect sense. Perfect sense. Self-defense is, it's almost like a growing process of learning basic self-defense, be it through, the art of gunfighting or whatever. Becoming a practitioner in the art leads to self-reliance, which is a stepping stone to self-actualization. And, and you're absolutely right, is once you can protect yourself and take care of yourself, you start to realize your true situation, and you can start shedding off your collectivist skin that's been placed on you by society. Then you can start opening up that box that you've been stuck in and stepping out and saying, like in the movie Network, I'm mad as hell and I'm not going to take it anymore. I'm a free man.
Exactly.
The biggest thing I tell my students, my lady students, is, your most important weapon that you'll ever have in life is your brain. You learn to activate your brain, use your brain, you stay calm through the situation so you can either go offensively or defensively. I get so many people that come to me that's went through other instructors and show them what I call magic tricks. And then they tell them, oh, yeah, if you do this, you're going to stay alive. If you go up there, you pop this hand, the gun falls out, you have it, you win. I mean, a lot of these instructors that are out here don't have a grasp on reality and watch too much, excuse my pun, too many damn Bruce Lee movies. I love Bruce Lee. He was a master, but it doesn't work in reality that way.
Absolutely. And people, we gun people, trainers, are the worst people in the world. We get hung up. People, no one that knows better, that should know better, argues more about ridiculous crap than people in the training industry, than gun people.
Amen.
I saw a several hour-long thread today on someone's wall, I'm not going to mention who, that was arguing about whether or not you should ever use the slide lock. I'm sorry, I'm a fan of using the slide lock in certain circumstances, but it's not something that it doesn't matter. People on any day on Facebook, on any day on a gun forum, you can find an argument on 9/11 versus 9mm versus 45, 1911 versus Glock, and I would rather stick my testicles into a freaking garbage disposal than take part in another one of those inane asinine, ridiculous,